Yeah, blessings, my people. You don't know say my views TV. I saw with the blessed ones. Right about now, blessed ones with this one. Big up the whole of the new blessed ones. Them that subscribe. Welcome to the family. You don't know the tingo. Big up on a damn self. And big up the whole of the blessed ones. Them that already subscribe part of the family and make this thing happen. You don't know the tingo. Big up on a damn self. And big up the whole of the blessed ones. Them that link in on the Instagram. You don't know the tingo. Big up on a damn self. And yeah, blessed ones. Before we start this, we just want to say in this video you might see some things, images, videos, different things that you might find inappropriate. I would advise you to go over to another video, another channel, and watch something else that more appropriate with you. Differently to that, blessed ones, you know, say MYVIEWSTV don't promote no violence, condone no violence, nothing like that. We just do these videos and hopefully other people could learn from these people mistake, especially these youths nowadays that live a certain life feeling that they're the only one that's living this or been through this. Want them to see that other people gone through it and the mistake these people has made, or the difference that they could make than these people. So anyway, blessed ones, big up on the damn self. You don't know the tingo. And this one is 2 hitmen were shot dead with their own guns. 2 hitmen shot dead with their own guns after storming into a notorious pub in Salford and firing at their victim. But in a bizarre twist of fate, the target, who was shot 6 times, survived, while the failed assassins were disarmed and killed. You hear that, blessed ones? The man, and I like to say the man them go to this place here, you know, blessed ones, and all of this drama go on. No, blessed ones, they went to the place, actually know the target, yeah, shot the target 6 times, and then get disarmed, you know. Get disarmed, you know, with them own gun, you know. Get disarmed and kill with them own gun. Let me tell you, Manchester got a different breed of criminal, brother. How you look at trouble work here? Anyway, big up on damn self. Let me continue this, blessed ones. 2 young gang members from Maside, Carlton Alvaranga 20 and Richard Austin 19, were the hired guns who had been sent, almost forced, into one of the city's toughest pubs to shoot dead a young upstart they didn't even know. They were the lambs sent to their own slaughter. Moments after they burst into the brass handles, where regulars were watching Manchester United beating Newcastle on a busy Sunday lunchtime on March the 12th, 2006, they were disarmed and shot dead with their own guns. Fatally injured, the would-be hitmen staggered out of the pub onto a grass croft beside Fitzwarren Street, where they collapsed and died. So hold on, yeah, blessed one. So the man them bust inside of the pub, fire shot, yeah, shot the person that them going for, yeah. Then them get disarmed and shot dead with their own guns. The same gun them that them bust in at the place with and try to kill the man, yeah, them get shot with. So hold on. So it come to me like them person, yeah, went into ya so expecting when them bust a shot, bam bam, everybody would have run. No, brother, that and a Runchester them from, you know, brother, Gunchester, you know. No man, them youth never. Them youth like them come from Runchester, but them go Gunchester, me mean Manchester, and expect when shot fire people are gonna run. Brother, well, sorry, them learned the hard way. A Manchester that, but also known as Gunchester. Yeah? So, me no believe say when you go, and you know hear what the pub name? Brass Handles. Brass Handles? You look at trouble, okay. Anyway, bless ones, this is what me tell you, I know every job fit for everybody. You have to know what job you good with. So blessed ones, let me get back into this. In a trademark Salford gangland move, following any crime inside a pub, someone ripped the CCTV system out. And the word went out, this is Salford and no one speaks to the law. No one inside the Peddleton pub that day, and there was hundreds, would speak to the police. To this day, no one has ever been brought to justice for the killing of Alvaranga and Austin, who were believed to be in debit with the Maside gang boss who organized the hit. That man was Ian McLeod, a founder member of the notorious Donington crew, who had sent these 2 young men to what turned out to be their deaths. Now, blessed ones, just look at that man. Look at this for a minute, blessed one. Just look at that man, your photo. Just look at that man, your photo, blessed one. Now, this is one of the founder member of the gang. You see, now, if you form a gang, and we don't know if this photo when him get locked up or during the time of him in the gang or whatsoever. But blessed ones, this is how you look while you're in a gang. Youths, this is how you look while you're in a gang. Any happiness in this year? And no pain and heartache and... You see anything good in this? I mean, I talk about him as a person. I talk about just in his face. You see, you look like you want to join anything that him in. I know why you get into, you know, youths. I want you, you know. Look here, you know. Living proof, you know. Where's the man you can't even go out and do them thing, you know. Them send 2 young men that owe him money, you know. Yo, McLeod had parked up close to the pub in his Ford Mondeo as his hired gun laid mortally wounded. His mind was still on the intended target. He was heard to ask, are they dead yet? He walked onto the grass to check his charges were dead before calmly driving away. At first, detectives thought the shooting was a result of a feud between rival gangs in Salford and Moss Side. Over the weeks and months of the subsequent police investigation, seasoned detectives were shocked when they uncovered the truth. This crime was made in Salford, despite it appearing to be otherwise. McLeod was then 43 and all but retired from serious crime, but still regarded as the leader of the Dunnington. He had himself been hired by one of Salford's most notorious figures, Bobby Spears, a close friend of the city Mr. Biggs, Paul Massey, who would himself be shot dead years later. Spears is said to have paid McLeod $10,000 for the hit, not that the young men who were to carry out the dirty work were going to see any of the money. At the moment Alvaranga and Austin were walking into the brass handles, Spears was enjoying a halftime pint in an executive box at Old Trafford, where he was watching his beloved United beating Newcastle 2-0. It was, he must have thought, the perfect alibi for the perfect crime. But the mission failed, and Spears fled to Benidorm in Spain, believing he would never be unmasked as the man who had ordered the hit. The man he wanted dead was Salford hardman David Totten, whose burgeoning criminal reputation and liking for violence demanded attention from his rivals. Spears wanted Totten dead, but why? Neither man had ever gone public to explain their feud, but the men established at the time that their feud was personal. In the weeks or months before the shooting, Totten was refused entry to a Manchester nightclub, and he told the bouncers he was a friend of Bobby Spears, who was already inside. The doorman fetched the older man to the entrance, and even though he knew perfectly well who Totten was, Spears feigned ignorance. The doorman sent humiliated Totten on his way. It is unclear whether this was meant simply as a laddish joke or something designed to belittle Totten. Whatever the intentions, in the subsequent weeks, Totten suddenly started drinking in Spears' local, the Brass Handles. Was this designed to spook Bobby Spears? If that was the case, it worked. Spears was worried. He quietly set about a plot to assassinate David Totten. The plot was hatched. 2 hired young bucks from Moss Side would be sent into a pub in the city of Salford, Heartland, to kill Totten as he watched the match. Police would believe it was a feud between rivals in Moss Side and Salford, and Spears would go under the radar. That was the plan. They were to be held by a spotter inside the pub, convicted gunrunner Connie Haworth. She sent discreet messages from inside the brass handles to tell McLeod where Totten was sitting with his mates in the snooker room. Information he could pass on to his reluctant hitmen. That mean the youth them no want go in the blessed ones. The youth them no want go. Anyway, she was sitting at the bar, mobile phone in hand, and had a view across the bar to the snooker room where Totten was sitting with his mates. It seems their hired hitmen, would-be assassins, were reluctant. Evidence suggested McLeod had to force the 2 young men from his car so they could complete their mission. You see that, the blessed ones? A woman inside the pub, you know. A woman where she can't have kids. You see what I tell you? She can't have kids because it will be like somebody has set up your son. Yeah, you see, blessed ones, because that take a real different kind of woman to do things like that, you know. Imagine you're inside a place, you know, a send text message and them thing, then knowing somebody come inside the pub, go lick out somebody head back. Yo, it take a different kind of art to do them thing there, you know. Actually sit there, a plan it, keep your composure and everything, you know, can't be spooky. Yo, it takes some real art to do that, you know. Anyway, blessed ones, let me continue with this. Detectives believe at the time that Austin and Alvaranga were only in the car because of a debit they owed McLeod. The young men weren't believed to be there to make a pile of cash, but simply to get McLeod off their backs. So you see that in our blessed ones? So what you would have said to the youth them? Imagine that in a blessed ones. Them other man a little change. It could even be all £100, you know. Now get it twisted, you know. It could even be all, let we say, between the 2 of them, let we say if it's £1,000 max. Them could have owe him, you know. Could be something else more, but the way him look like, that could have all been £50. You know what I mean? Now I go drop it down, so I go say £100. Could be all £100. And look there. The man make the 2 man them lose them life, you know, the 2 youth them lose them life. So what you think would have better in that case there? Them just turn the gun pan him, bust it pan him. Cause if you're scared that much for your life that he might kill you, but yet him send you go get killed. You see it? So I just really hope the youth them watch the little situation here and learn from this, you know. Cause you see there? You see what fear make them do? Them fear this man. So them think now if them go and do that, that I go get the man off them back. But hold on. The 2 of them dead now. The man a prison. The other man a prison. Blessed ones, Hey, life is a crazy thing, yeah? When they entered the pub, they fired 6 times into Tutton's chest before Austin's gun misfired and they were overpowered by the other drinkers. Tutton, who was with a group of friends, was seriously hurt, but incredibly survived. Another man not believed to be a target, Aaron Travers, was also hit, jumping up and taking 2 bullets meant for his friend Tutton. The table at which Tutton and his friends had been sitting was upended and used as a shield against the Dunnington gang members who had run into the pub and opened fire. Tutton and Travers were driven away and dumped outside a hospital where they were treated and would make a full recovery despite serious injuries. Jesus, them Manchester man, you know easy. Them say the man jump up and take 2 bullets for him friend, you know. Ah, you look at trouble work here. All the time me say people hear bullet and run. Them man you hear bullet and jump in it. Me tell you say Manchester I mean it's a different place. Father God, hear ya. Neither would make a formal statement to the police about being shot, and nor would anyone else who was in the pub that afternoon. This was Salford Omerta at work, the almost impenetrable code of silence which protect the city's criminal from prosecution. It means more than 10 years after Austin and Alvarenga were shot dead, no one has ever been charged over their killings. For many outside the Greater Manchester criminal fraternity, their loss isn't mourned. After all, they were about to murder someone in cold blood before they were disarmed and shot dead themselves. True, real talk. But they can't really feel sorry for you know what I mean? But then I look back on it now from a different point of view. Yeah, we could see where obviously the man forced them and whatnot. You see, but still, that would have been the outcome. And you gone in, they got bus shot. If you would get away, what would have been the outcome then? You see? Probably would have made rap video. Never know. Anyway, but to the grieving families, of course, it was very different. Austin's mother Bridget had moved the family to Wittenshire to help her son escape the clutches of gangs, but to no avail. I worried every time Richard would not come home, as he was probably in Moss Side. I had no idea who he was with, she told the police. The last time she saw her son, he was asleep on the sofa of her flat after half a bottle of red. She left the house and never saw him again. Alvarenga's grandmother, Linda Connelly, saw him the day before the shooting, making some lunch for him before he went to a party. Alvarenga had been released from a 4-year sentence in 2005, but even before he was out, MacLeod was trying to visit him to ask about security work. If he wanted to go straight, MacLeod clearly had other ideas. The shooting and its main protagonist have helped to shape the criminal landscape that exists in Greater Manchester today. The target of the hit, David Tutton, went on to become one of the most feared men in Salford, someone who had repeated run-ins with the police. The law did eventually catch up with MacLeod and Spears, no thanks to anyone inside the brass handles that day. The Central Plank prosecution case, which eventually saw them convicted on conspiracy to murder, wasn't any witness, but evidence about their telephone communications before and after the butch hit. But as I said, our blessed ones, the people the man them that get shot still never said who shot them, And how them man they get convicted now on conspiracy to murder is because of the conversation and everything them had on them phone before and after the hit. Why you see that they happen. You see it? So imagine that them done a botch hit, yeah, from the start. I tell you, failure is always in the beginning, never in the ending. Alright, the ending is just the result. Remember that failure is always in the beginning. Anyway, blessed ones, there we go. All the police had when they arrived at the scene were 2 dead bodies and 2 mobile phones on the grass beside them. From this unpromising beginning, a case evolved. The phones were key. They were pay-as-you-go mobiles, which can frequently lead detectives nowhere, but officers realized one of them had been topped up with the help of a loyalty card with a name on it. From there, police were able to trace other mobile numbers and retrace an incriminating web of communications behind the main players in the plot. The following year, Howard was jailed for a minimum of 20 years, while MacLeod was handed a minimum of 21 years as part of his life sentence. It was a major coup for Greater Manchester Police, which had routinely struggled to penetrate Salford criminal underworld. Meanwhile, Spears was living the high life and enjoying the sunshine in Benidorm. He went to watch his beloved United whenever they were playing an away tie in Europe. Police kept an eye on him, but could do nothing for now. Spears has been instrumental in planning the operation and kept in touch with MacLeod and Howard and his mobile. From his executive box at Old Trafford communications, police would later uncover unmasking him as the man who had ordered the butch hit. Finally, he was extradited back to the UK after an European arrest warrant was issued, and he was jailed for a minimum of 23 years in 2009. Okay. His close friend Paul Massey, The man regarded as Salford Mr. Big, who was himself shot dead in 2015, was pictured dubbing "Free Bobby Spears" on the walls beside Salford Lads Club in the wake of the sentencing of his pal. For a period in 2009, police investigating Austin and Alvarenga's death were keen to speak to a suspected robber who had been in the brass handles that day before going on the run, but nothing has ever come from that line of inquiry. David Tutton may have survived the shooting, but he continued to have run-ins with the Greater Manchester Police. Police did not believe he was the man who had shot dead Austin and Alvarenga, but he certainly didn't tell the police who did. In 2011, he was handed 20 months behind bars after he admitted conspiracy to handle stolen goods. Before that, he served a longer prison sentence for beating up two car parks attendants. His computer log at GMP has a firearm marker on it by virtue of surviving the brass handle shooting. On March the 3rd, he was in the middle of another shooting, and this time it was the police doing the firing. He was sitting in the front passenger seat of a stolen red Audi S6 estate parked in Colchester in Cheshire when armed police swooped and shot the driver, his friend Anthony Granger. Again, Tutton survived. A public inquiry heard Tutton had been gloved and wearing a rolled-up balaclava on his head. In the back of the car was Joey Travers, the brother of the man who had taken a couple of bullets for Tutton, Aaron Travers. At the public inquiry into the death of Anthony Granger earlier this year, Tutton denied he was about to commit a robbery at a nearby supermarket and claimed they were simply there to collect a debit from a man called Fenton. He and many others were defined by that shootout at the Brass Handles in 2006 and the subsequent police investigation. It was a remarkable case, and hopefully we won't go back to those bad times ever again. It was such a tragedy. Recall Anthony Tattersall, the now retired detective superintendent who led the original investigation. Today, the file remains open on the murders of Carlton Alvarenga and Richard Austin. Just don't expect anyone in Salford to tell you about it. Martin Bottomley, head of GMP's cold case unit, said, "Whilst we have never found those responsible for the murders of Richard Austin and Carlton Alvarenga, we will never close the case. Should any new information about historic murders come to light, these will always be followed up appropriately." So, big up on the damn self, blessed ones, you don't know the tingo. Reach the end of the video, yeah? Don't know the tingo, big up on the damn self. Don't know, say this video is only for educational purposes only, and hopefully the youth them can learn from these people. Mistake